Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Saturday, September 12th. And you can see temperatures this morning in the upper 40s to the low 50s. And as far as precipitation, the last 24 hours, pretty much the areas we thought would have the best chance did get some precipitation. We'd forecasted extreme southeast lower Michigan over into southwest Ontario to pick up about a tenth to a quarter of an inch. And that's pretty much where they fell. Lesser amounts or no precipitation across the north. A couple of hundreds here in Henderson. I'm sure there's some spotty activity. And this is probably from late last night. We expect a chance for some lake effect rain showers across the Saginaw Valley and Thumb area today, and across far southwest lower Michigan along the lakeshore, and for far northwest lower Michigan. But again, amounts should not add up to be to be too much. And if we take a look at the satellite picture, you can clearly see where that big trough is digging into the Great Lakes right now. And notice the enhanced white clouds across Lake Huron, streaming into Saginaw Bay and into the Thumb area. And then the fetch of clouds all the way from northern Lake Michigan, especially as you get into the Chicagoland area. No doubt you can see on radar that's where the showers would be expected, and they certainly are across the Thumb area. And again, we expect just low chances of showers today with amounts mainly less than a tenth of an inch. Obviously more down around that area where there's a longer fetch of a lake to work with. As far as the forecast map for today, at noon we see the low pressure system and the cold front now well off to the east, but with the north or counterclockwise rotation around that storm, and then high pressure with the clockwise rotation, you can see the overall gradient coming in from the northeast and north, and that's going to bring that cold air over the warmer waters of Lake Huron, producing a better chance of some precipitation in the Thumb area. If we look ahead to Monday, that high pressure will now be drifting off to the east, and we'll get a return flow with warmer air commencing, especially as we get into Monday, when we could have highs well up in the upper 60s to low 70s, and I think we'll be around 80 or better as we get into midweek. And the rest of the week looks to average about 5 to 8 degrees above normal. Any precipitation should remain off to our west until at least Thursday, as these systems will continue to track up into Ontario from the upper plains. As we look at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, you can see with ridging building across much of the eastern U.S., warmer to above normal temperatures are expected across most of the eastern U.S. The trough out west will keep them cool. And if we go to the 8 to 14 day outlook, most of the nation will be near to above normal, again with that big ridge setting here across much of the Great Lakes area, bringing us lots of warm weather. As far as precipitation, towards the end of the 6 to 10 day outlook, we'll see some northern systems getting close enough where we could get some more in the way of precipitation. But again, it looks like overall a fairly normal period. And for the 8 to 14 day, we'll get a little bit more warmth involved, and we get systems moving across the north. I think will give a better chance of above normal precipitation across the center of the nation. And as far as our soil temperatures, you can see over the last week with the clouds, precipitation, and now cooler weather coming in, soil temperatures at both the 2 and the 8-inch levels at all the locations are beginning to fall. And if we look at the evapotranspiration rates over the last week, you can see with the clouds, less and less amount of evaporation is going to be taking place now as we get into the fall harvest month. And whereas you get into June, July, and August, you'll quite often see about 1/1500ths to a quarter of an inch on days with sunshine. Now as the sun angle is lower and we get less amount of daylight, and certainly we get cooler temperatures, we have less evaporation, and that'll be telling the trees and soybeans and other plants it's time to start shutting down. And we'll see here in another few weeks our leaves begin to change. And if we look at that, the result of that, during the summer months, you'll often see a lot of these red negative numbers, meaning we're losing more moisture to the watershed than what we're gaining. But as we get into September through the winter months, we'll see more positive numbers, and that'll build up our water pack for next spring for planting and for the growing season, which we did quite well here over the last growing season. And as far as the overall total, as you can see, for the growing months of April through the current, we're about minus 5.31 for the watershed. And last year was very similar, as we also had pretty good amount of precipitation both this year and last year, 17.4 inches so far from April to now. And last year's total growing season precipitation was at 20 inches. So that was kind of interesting to see how the water accumulations and the evaporation rates are showing up on these charts. Thanks for stopping by, and have a great Saturday, a great rest of your weekend. and 73s to all.